Welcome to another edition of Get a Clue Casual Gamer. Today I'm going to bring to you a list of 10 two-player games. These are 10 games that were made for only 2 players. Okay? I will say that there are 1, 2, 3 that I have not been able to play yet. I'm looking forward to them. I want to tell you about it. Again, these are all games I own. Some of these I have mentioned in other lists because they pertain to other lists that I've done. I was looking at the videos that I've done for this channel, and this is video number 32. And in less than 2 months. Yikes. But I wanted you, with Christmas coming up and with the idea of buying gifts for someone or asking for something as a gift, I wanted to bring to you a plethora of choices. So, this is not in any 1 to 10 order. This is literally order by size of box. I have them stacked by size of box, and I'm just going to share with you a little bit about the game. I will say right off the bat, they all run between 15 to 30 minutes. I glanced at all of them just now, and so all of them say they run between 15 and 30 minutes once you know how to play it. That first 1 or 2 times is going to take a little longer, but none of them is a long game. And a 2-player game, you should be able to find somebody to play with. You might, your main chance of playing might be with just one other person. And that's why I'm doing this list, because I know that sometimes it's hard to get other people to play, and if you can get one person, here you have 10 chances, 10 different types of games, and they are quite different. Okay, so let's start with the smallest box. Totten. Totten is a redo of a game called Battle Line that was a redo of a game called Totten. It's come back to its original name, and the theme is 2 Scottish clans vying for the rocks. You play, the 2 people play against each other trying to capture the rocks in a wall between them. Most cases, I think, if you get a certain number of them, you win. This is one of the ones I have not managed to get on the table yet, but it plays so like 1 or 2 other games on this list. Apparently it's a favorite mechanic or mechanism of a 2-player card game, to have this wall between them and duking it out one-on-one on each side. But this one is Scottish clans trying to capture the rocks between them, and they capture them by having the best score on their side when it comes to the cards. Again, you're going to see this again, and maybe it's just choose which theme you prefer. Let's see. The next one is called King Domino Duel. I've done a video about King Domino, and this is a roll and write, and I've done videos about roll and writes. This is a new one that's just come out recently, and by Blue Orange. The Totten is by Yellow, IELLO Games, and this one is Blue Orange Games. literally blue, orange, like the colors. And it's a roll and write, which it also comes with instructions in English, Spanish, and French. So if that means something to who you might be buying this for or playing it with, having those languages might help. But you get a pad of these and pencils and special dice, and like any other roll and write, you roll dice and you write something down. You roll dice and you write something down. And in this case, you're trying to create, you fill your shields with like shields. Like some shields have just one little dot in the middle, and some have two dots, and some have just one black line through it, and some have two black lines through it, and some are in quarters, and two of the quarters are blacked out, and some shields are completely blacked out. And so you're trying to create areas of the same design shield to score points at the end of the game. And it's a two-player game. You can't play it solo, though I did follow the directions to play, just to see how it played, because it is, it's my newest game in this list. So I just got it this past week during the Target buy two get one free sale. Got this, and I got some Christmas presents too. Shh. So this is King Domino Duel. Two people are playing it back to back because when you throw the dice, there's four dice. When it's your turn, you throw the four dice, and then you pick which two you want to keep, and the other two go to the other person. And then when it's their turn, they roll the four dice, they keep the two they want and the other two. And you have to work with what you have. And you're trying, and they have, like dominoes, like King Domino, like dominoes, they have to, at least one of the shields needs to be touching a similar shield. You can't just, if you were playing dominoes, you can't put a 4 next to a 3. It needs to be a 3 and a 3, so it's the same with this, but with these designed shields. So all of these, these first few, the boxes are so small, they're wonderful for traveling. Next one is Gypsy Academy, but it's also known as Hanamukoji. It originally was Hanamukoji, and then they reskinned it and made it Gypsy Academy. And right now, they're coming out with a redo of Hanamukoji because they're coming out with an expansion for Hanamukoji. And apparently, right now, they're not the easiest to find, but if you can find one or the other, make sure if it's Hanamukoji, it's actual game Hanamukoji, not the expansion, which is something road, Geisha Road or something like that. They're exactly the same game. Basically, you have a row of important people. In Hanamukoji, it's geishas. In Gypsy Academy, it's the professors of the academy. And you're trying to win their favor. And you win their favor by having certain cards, the majority of cards, on your side of this line. Recognize that? This line thing? There's this line, and each player is trying to win something from the middle. In Totten, it's rocks. In Gypsy Academy and Hanamukoji, it's the favor of either geishas or the professors. And it plays in 2, sometimes 3 rounds. Rarely would it go past 3 rounds. But that is Gypsy Academy, Jixia Academy. Or Hanamukoji, Hanamikoji, Hanamukoji. Okay, so those are smaller. The Gypsy Academy is already starting. It's about the same size as the next few. and this one is Encore. Encore is a two-player game, like all. And look, it has something in the middle. And you're building on the two different sides of this something in the middle. The theme in this one is Egyptian. So if you prefer Egyptian, I mean, we've had Scottish, we've had medieval, we've had Japanese, now we have Egyptian. And basically you are buying and selling, or buying these tiles and putting them in your area in a certain format to create the most points. And you're trying, it's actually, these right here are miniature, hold on a second, Aggie, she got a new bed today that I got her, and it's very soft and smushy, and she, like any other dog, likes to dig before she lays down in its softness. I don't want her to tear it open. It's like, okay, she's calmed down now. Anyway, okay, so these little discs here are reminiscent, if you haven't watched my video, go and watch it, on the game Splendor. It's a little plastic disc, but they're smaller. And it actually is very similar in the fact that you are drafting these little poker chips, miniature poker chips, let's say that. And you just choose 3 of them and when it's your turn, or you spend them when it's 2 or 3 of them when it's your next turn. And you spend them to buy these tiles that you build up and treat. So that is that game. I haven't done a video on this one yet, but it's that simple. It's very similar to Splendor, but a 2-player and smaller, much more compact. And that is Encore. And it comes to us from Space Cowboys is the name of the company. Space Cowboys. Egyptian theme. The next one I have done a video on, and it's called Jaipur, and it shows up on some other lists. So this is a really good one. And it's more of an Indian theme. So we've had Scottish, medieval, Japanese, Egyptian, and now Indian, as in from India. And this game, I'm not going to tell you too much because you can watch the whole video on it, but basically you are collecting cards of similar color and turning them in, selling them for these discs that have points. And once you have, let's see, you do, oh yes, these stacks, once 3 of the stacks are empty, that's the end of the game. So it goes in rounds, but it's very quick, and it's very simple. You're just choosing cards and moving your cards around until you have enough that you want to sell, and then you get the little chips, their little cardboard tokens that are worth points, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to buy up points and have the most at the end of the game. That's it. That's Jaipur. Next one is totally different. Totally different. A Little Wordy. And I have done a video, or maybe I just used it, mentioned it. No, I think I did a video for it. I've done so many I'm starting to forget which ones I've done and which ones I'm wanting to do. Anyway, this is, again, it's a 2-player game. I did do a video, I'm pretty sure. So you can check it out for a longer description. But basically, you get some little letter tiles. They're cardboard, but it's kind of like Scrabble or Bananagrams, where you're getting some tiles, but these are little cardboard tiles. You have a certain number, I think it's 7 consonants and 5 vowels, and you create a word in secret, write it down, and then you don't have to use all your tiles. In fact, you don't want to, because it make it too easy for them. And then you take these 12 tiles and you hand them over to the other person all mixed up, and they give you their 12 tiles, and you try, between the two of you, taking turns trying to get clues and figure out what is the word that your opponent came up with. And whoever guesses the other person's word, giving them the least points for you to accomplish it, that's who wins this game. A little wordy. So if you're not into this back and forth, competitive aspect, if you just want to, or you prefer games that have to do with words, if you have someone who likes Scrabble or Bananagrams, or the other one, Quiddler, those word games, and you want a word game for 2 people, this is much easier, quicker than Scrabble. I can tell you that right now. But it's also small, easily portable. So that was the end of that size box. We had 4 that size. Now we go to those that are this size. And I have done a video on this. This is Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. And in this one, you have a little mini board. You play 7 rounds. Each person has 3 things they can do in each round. And at the end, you want to have the most of certain, numbers. They're also colors, because they changed the colors, for each one. But you want to have the most of any one, the biggest set of each, to get the most points. There is, though the name sounds like it's a deduction game, it is not. It is a set collection, and you want to have the most of any specific number, because you can get the points dependent on how many cards you have of a certain number. And so it's really all set collection, trying to get the best set collection, like, rummy, except you don't stop at 3 for a set. You can have 7 in a set, as long as there's 7 cards of it. But that's basically it. And if you want more detail, go and watch the other video. But it's a fun game, and it's a quick game. It's easy to learn and easy to bring to the table. The next one is another one that I've done a video on, and shows up on another 1 or 2 lists, and that is Patchwork. Patchwork Express. This one's Patchwork Christmas. There's also Patchwork Original, Patchwork Americana, and I just found out yesterday that they have a whole, there's also a Patchwork Halloween that came out last month. But in the works, they have all sorts of other patchworks of the type of materials that are from other regions of the world. So there's, with different kinds of material. We don't know. They're not coming out this year. They're coming out next year or the following year. But I think next year. And they had 3 different ones. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, beautiful. But they play the same. They haven't changed the gameplay. And so the question is, are they going to be available around the world, or just in the region that they are kind of what's the word, representing? We don't know. But my goodness, this game is so easy. You are you're trying to cover your quilt base with these the patchwork of pieces. The pieces are polyomino shaped, which is Tetris shaped. If you've ever played Tetris, you know what a Tetris shape can look like. All different Tetris shapes, polyomino. And you're trying to end up with the most buttons at the end of the game. You want to have as much of this filled and have saved up enough buttons to be the winner. So that's Patchwork, and if you want to know more about it, check out the video about Patchwork itself, okay? Or this one I talk about a little bit on the my Christmas list. The next one is Lost Cities. And guess what? There's this little board that you put between the two of you. I love two-player games always have like this board between the two of you, or this wall of rocks between the two of you, or these cards representing professors between the two of you. It's like, okay. And here you're trying to do sets again. Lost Cities, the current one, the sixth expedition, the newest one has the sixth expedition in it by Cosmos. Oh, I didn't mention that this is Lookout Games. The Patchworks are Lookout Games. The Jaipur, sorry, I'm falling behind in my efforts here. Jaipur and Encore are both from Space Cowboys, I believe. Yeah, Space Cowboys. Okay, back to, it's like, yeah, those others were there. This is Cosmos. Cosmos is a big name, especially they do a lot of two-player games too. Yeah, they're known for that. But anyway, the sixth expedition, if it says that, then it will have inside, it will have a board that has 5 different colored areas, and on the reverse side has 6 if you want to make it a little bit more complicated. So, but you have the option. So if you get really, really, really good at the side with 5, you can flip it over and add a few cards, and you have a little bit more complicated game. But you don't have to do that. You can do it with the base game. You just now have an option in the newer boxes, the newer editions of this. It has been popular for quite a while, quite a few years. And basically you are, again, capturing sets, trying to get like colored cards and playing them to get the most points, to beat your opponent. The explorer with the highest score after 3 rounds of expeditions wins. The rules of the game are simple, but beware. The lost cities hold many unseen mysteries. Again, it's a card game. A lot of these are card games, not Patchwork. Those are tiles. See, and the roll and write, that's not cards. Jaipur is a mixture. Encore is a mixture. Holmes is a little bit of a mixture. Little Wordy has little tiles. The last one, which is probably on the verge of not being a casual game, okay, is Seven Wonders Duel. This is one that I have not played. Everyone talks about how wonderful this game is and how much better this game is than the original Seven Wonders. But it could be a little thinky. You are trying to, it's like basically you choose an available building, you develop your city by using your resources, and you win the game with scientific or military supremacy or by earning victory points. And look at the cards. Look at the artwork on the cards. Aren't they beautiful? I'm here like, and it's all of these different cultures and I'm a big humanities buff. I love the humanities. I love multicultural aspects and ancient civilizations and history. So for me, this was just like, yeah, I have, that it interests me, it calls me. I mean, this is expedition, this is, quilt making. I mean, all these themes that you can choose. But this one, I was like, yeah, I need to try that one. I mean, you got the Egyptian pyramids, and then you got the Colossus of Knossos. Yeah, it's just like all of this history, and then you have this Greek thing here, and actually, is that Cleopatra in Rome? Yeah, and I mean, it has won awards. Yeah, and Seven Wonders just came out with a new game called Seven Wonders Architects. Is not a two-player game, and supposed to be an easy version of getting into the Seven Wonders world. Yeah, it's on my radar, but it's not coming right now. I need to get this one played first. But oh my goodness, so many people love this game. And so if you're looking for something crunchier, something heavier on the far end of casual, I can suggest this one. Okay. I can't, those are 10. That's right there. That's 10. And those are all two-player only games. But I have two games that I'd like to just put into your radar that are not two-player specific, but I feel that they play best at two-player. So I'm going to suggest these. And since it's Christmas, and this is mentioned and talked about and explained in my Christmas list video, Christmas Lights, it has actually 12 different games. The original game and then 11 other games that can be played with these same cards. So it's sold between $9 and $10 depending on where you buy it. It's out and about right now. Christmas Lights. It's a good. I suggest it. You're putting together rows of colored lights. The cards have colored lights on it, and you're trying to create a specific pattern to a card that you have that shows a pattern of 5 different colors of lights, and you have to create that in front of you. But watch the other video to find out the quirky part about that. And another one is one that you can only buy right now. I can only find it. I've only found it at 25th Century Games. 25th Century Games. Let me say that again. 25th Century Games. That's where you can find this game. It is beautiful. You are creating your own koi pond. And yes, it's for 2 to 4 players, or actually it's 1 to 4 players. There is a solo mode for it, and I have played it solo mode. It is so relaxing. It's such a beautiful, just take 2 tiles and place them in your koi pond, and when it's your turn, you take 2 piles and you place them in your koi pond, and you're creating a koi pond, hopefully placing the tiles in a way to make the most end game points. And when it's just 2 of you, you're not fighting over these tiles. It's just take a couple and put them down. You replace them, and then they have a turn, and they take a couple, and it's just a nice back and forth, and it's a relaxing game. Every time I've played it, it's just a beautiful, relaxing game of making a koi pond that has flowers in it, and different kinds of flowers, different kinds of koi, dragonflies in some, baby fish in some, rocks in some, little stone temple thingies in some that give you points. Frogs give you will eat the dragonflies. Turtles will give you an instant 5 points. I mean, it's just, it's a very beautiful, relaxing game. But best, in my opinion, best played 2 players. But if you want it, you have to order it through 25th Century Games. It's not out in the public yet. So it's so nice though. I really, really, really like this game. And that is 10 games, 2-player games, and 2 honorable mentions that I believe are games that should be played, are best played with 2 people. And I hope this helped you. I hope you have fun getting a clue about new games, especially at this time of year, getting ready for Christmas. Merry Christmas, almost. It's actually Thanksgiving week, so I wanted to give these because you don't want to get behind in ordering stuff and them not getting in here in time. This also gives you a list to carry with you to your flags, your friendly local game store, and say, okay, I am looking for this game. Go in well-versed and ready to say, I'm looking for this game. Show me where you have it, because if it's a good flags, friendly local game store, they should have it. And except for that Kohaku. Kohaku is, yeah, can't get that anywhere else. So, happy gaming. God bless. Until next time, bye.